Lasagna is one of my favorite Italian dishes, full of flavor, noodles, and spices, and that basil. Listen. Just boil you some water and mix it with some olive oil or vegetable oil. This way, your noodles won't stick together. I am going to place between 6 to 11 pieces of lasagna noodles into this hot boiling water. We're going to let this boil for 10 minutes. Now while the noodles are boiling, we're going to take a pan to saute some onions and a little bit of chopped garlic. And we are going to pan fry these very lightly. So make sure your heat is on low to medium. And I just like adding this with my ground beef. It just gives it more flavor. You can do bell peppers as well. And now I'm taking my ground beef. I'm using 85% lean and 15% fat. Usually I would use the higher number of lean that they have in the supermarket. So for instance, if the lean says 93%, I usually would go after that. But 85% was the highest. Because I don't like all that fat and all that liquid in my ground beef when sauteing. And I'll show you as we get closer. Now, frying this ground beef up usually would take about 15 to 20 minutes. I still have it on low to medium heat. Or you can kind of turn it up to medium heat. We really don't want to cook it fast. I like my meat to cook at a great pace, okay? And you know when your meat is officially cooked when you don't see any more of that pink color. We want it to be brown throughout the entire pan. And what I'm doing is just chopping it up so that the ground beef won't be big chunks. Kind of like when you scramble eggs, you want to just scramble it together, apart I should say. And as you can see, all that gravy, that juice, that is the fat. So we want to drain that fat. So once it's drained, then I take my tomato sauce and I'm using the roasted garlic and herb. I am a Prego fan. I am not a Ragu fan. I love Prego. However, my next lasagna meal, I will be doing tomato sauce from scratch. Because it's going to come out way better, way more flavorful, and it's just going to be hitting, y'all. So we're just going to slowly mix in that sauce with our ground beef. And once it's nicely mixed in together, now I like to season my sauce, my meat sauce, I should say. So I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of each one. So I'm using roasted garlic and herb. Then I'm using Italian seasoning. Then I'm using onion powder and garlic powder. And like I said, we're using 2 tablespoons of each one. Then I'm going to take 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. Brown sugar is just going to give it more of a little bit of a sweeter taste to get rid of that bitterness taste. And then I'm going to add in my basil. Whenever doing any Italian dishes, you must have basil on hand. It just enhances the flavor. Then I'm using some more basil. And then I'm using more seasoning and sazon. And you can season it up to your liking. But yeah, this is going to be hitting. So I'm taking mozzarella cheese, sharp cheddar, more shredded mozzarella cheese, and ricotta cheese. And usually I would use cottage cheese, but they didn't have the one that I usually use. So we will be using 3 different types of cheeses. Now, when it comes to layering your lasagna, I like to start mine off with a little bit of meat sauce on the bottom. And you just want to spread it to make sure that it's spread it throughout the entire pan. And now I'm going to layer it with my noodles. So the first layer is ground beef and then noodles. Now this layer is going to consist of all the ingredients. So we're going to do ground beef and then cheese and then more cheese and then noodles. And that would be the rhythm for the layering of the lasagna. Now your oven should be on 375 degrees. And I like to cover my pan and just let the lasagna cook for 25 minutes. So she is ready to go in the oven, like I said, 375 degrees. And we're going to let this cook for 25 minutes. And then boom. This is how beautiful she is. If yours is not as ready, just let it cook for a little bit longer. But yes, this is 25 minutes and she is nice and ready, hot and ready. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, comment, and share with a friend. Follow me on Instagram at @dashofblanco. And I'll see you guys in my next tutorial.